In the records of Aurora, Illinois, there is a single 911 call from February 3, 2006, that technically never reached a conclusion. While emergency dispatches are defined by their beginning and their end, this specific incident is remembered because the line stayed open. The call was traced to a landline belonging to Emily Carter. At 32 years old, Emily lived alone and had no history of calling emergency services or any prior police involvement. The connection was established at 1:42 a.m. When the dispatcher answered, they were met with total silence. No voice, no background movement, and no immediate signs of distress. That silence eventually broke, not with words, but with the sound of breathing. It was slow, uneven, and captured clearly by the microphone of the handset. The person on the other end was close enough for their breath to hit the receiver, yet they offered no response to the dispatcher's questions. They remained on the line, maintaining the connection while refusing to speak. This composite audio waveform of the 1:42 a.m. recording hides buried sounds. Technicians peeled back the dominant breathing frequency, revealing a second distinct vocal source originating deeper within the house. When isolated and looped, a background voice repeatedly whispered, "Don't let her leave." At 1:49 a.m., 7 minutes after the line first opened, the first police units arrived at the Carter residence. The officers found the front door unlocked and the interior lights switched on. There were no signs of a break-in, no broken glass, and no evidence of a struggle in any of the rooms. In the kitchen, the police discovered Emily's phone sitting on the counter. The line was still active, the dispatcher still listening to the breathing. But Emily was not in the room. The perpetrator had managed to remove an adult woman from a lit house without damaging the property or alerting neighbors, all while keeping the physical phone line open and broadcasting. The 911 call finally went silent at 1:50 a.m., This wasn't because of a technical failure. The breathing and the background voice simply stopped at the exact same moment. Investigators kept the full details of those final seconds confidential, but a leaked report later identified one last auditory anomaly that the police couldn't explain. On this timeline of the call, a sharp amplitude spike occurs at the 7:59 mark, the mechanical sound of the receiver being lifted and replaced. Police logs confirm officers were standing right next to the phone then, yet no one touched it. The timing suggests that while the officers were searching the empty room, someone, or something, was standing close enough to the counter to manipulate the handset without being detected. Emily Carter was never located. With no suspects and no body, the case went cold, and the house was eventually sold to new owners. For years, the new residents lived in the house without incident. There were no reports of intruders or strange noises. That normalcy ended when the house landline rang in the middle of the night. The caller ID was blank. The call came in at exactly 1:42 a.m. When the residents answered, they heard the same silence, followed by the same slow, rhythmic breathing recorded years earlier. Because the timing and the audio matched the 2006 recording exactly, the incident suggests that the original 911 dispatch never actually ended. It remained with the house, surfacing years later at the same hour it began.